Hello! In this video we're gonna send push notifications to our mobile devices using Amazon SNS and Firebase. Now let's take a look to the lab summary where you can see a diagram with the components and a list of tasks we have to carry out in order to send push notifications. On Firebase we have to create a project and an Android application. On Android Studio we have to create a Kotlin project where we'll use some configurations from Firebase. We'll create an action to get the device token, and we'll build our project to create an APK we have to install and run on our mobile devices. When we get the token device, we have to use it on Firebase to send our first notification. Here is when we have to get our hands on the AWS console, specifically on Simple Notification Service or SNS, where we have to create a platform application using the secret key from Firebase and an endpoint using the device token. We're gonna send a push notification from SNS using that configuration, and finally we're gonna use a Lambda function with Node.js to publish a message and get a notification. On Firebase, click on Go to Console. Add project, and let's name this project Send Notifications. Google Analytics is enabled by default. Select or create a new Google Analytics account. When it's done, hit on the Android icon. Let's name this app Send Notifications. I'm gonna save this name to use it on Android Studio. The name is going to be Send Notifications and click on Register App. Save the JSON file because we have to use it later. To add the Firebase SDK, we have to follow these instructions. Select Kotlin over here and let's set the Android Studio project. Run Android Studio, create new project, basic activity, and click on Next, and let's name it Send Notifications. The package name is OK, the language Kotlin, and finish. We need to add the JSON file to the project. Click on Show Files. I'm going to drag and drop it here. Hey, that was a mistake. Please add it here in App. Click on Android here. In order to add the Firebase SDK, I'm going to change this file. Add the class path. Google is OK over here, and click on Sync Now. When this process is completed, we're going to open the other file. Add some lines over here. Starting with the plugins, and then these three dependencies. Click on Sync Now again. This application has a button in the home screen with an action we're going to change in order to get the device token. When you press that button, the token will show and we're going to get it and copy it to the clipboard. If you want to change what you see when you open the application on your phone, you can change this file over here. If you want to change the behavior of the notification when the application is not running in the background, you can add a new class, my Firebase messaging service. We have to override the onMessageReceived function. And we'll use a small pop-up to show the notification. In this way, we can show the message when the application is opened. Finally, let's add the missing libraries, close all these files, and add the class recently created to the AndroidManifest. This is a service. The name of the class, an intent filter section, and an action. I'm gonna add com.google.firebase messaging event. I'm gonna close these files. It's time to generate an APK. File JSON is missing. I'm getting this error because the JSON file is not in the app folder. I'm gonna find it, and I'm going to drop it in the correct folder. Let's build our application again. That's it. We have generated an APK. I'm here in my phone. I'm going to install this application. Press install. Install anyway. Open. Don't send. And open again. I'm gonna press this button to show the device token, and that's it. It's now in the clipboard. Back on the computer, I have here the device token, and I'm going to use it on Firebase to send our first notification. Hit on cloud messaging, send your first message, send test message. Here I have to paste the device token, add, and test. In my phone, I can see here my first notification. Now, it's time to go to the AWS console. Let's go to SNS. Click on Push Notifications. Create Platform Application. Send Notifications. Firebase Cloud Messaging. I have to find my server key on Firebase. Project Settings. Copy this string. Paste it here. Click on Create Platform Application. And it's time to create an application endpoint. Find the device token. My phone. Create application endpoint. And this is our target ARN. It's time to publish a message, but now using AWS. We have to select this option. I'm going to paste the correct format to send notifications. Sample message. And finally, I'm going to publish message. Now, here we can see a notification that comes from AWS. The final step is go to Lambda because we need to send a notification but using the SDK. Create function from scratch, send notification. The runtime will be Node.js 12. You're going to create a new role and click on create function. In the index file, we're going to import the AWS SDK. We can find the target ARN on the endpoint section. The payload object has to have a default index, GCM with notification, body with a string, title with another string. We're gonna use sound with default. The publish function gets the payload in a specific format. So this is why we need to stringify the payload GCM and the payload itself. The param SNS will contain the message payload, the target ARN, and a message structure. It's very important to set it as JSON. Finally, I'm gonna publish a message using these params and a promise. Our Lambda function doesn't have permissions to perform a publish message, so we need to add some permissions to the role. Let's deploy this code and test it. Publish is not a function. Okay, let's fix this problem. Publish. Deploy and test again. We have here the name of our role. Let's go to AM, roles. This is our role. Edit policy, JSON. The action has to be SNS and publish message. The resource has to be the platform application. The response is OK. And here is our first notification from Lambda. Let's make a little change over here. Let's deploy and try again. And that's it. Here is our second notification. Thanks for watching.